Welcome everyone to what can only be described as another Speed Champions video. Today, 76907, the Lotus Evija. It's got 247 pieces, and it is the last of the singles of last year. I already did the Countach and the Ferrari 512M. This is up against it. Those are some heavy hitters. It's in a pretty high ranking lobby if you catch my drift. But we're going to see how it stacks up against them. Let's take a look at the front of the box here. We've got the Lego model speeding through what could be some British countryside perhaps. Although I don't know about that architecture. Look at the livery though. British racing green over yellow. That is so Lotus. It's beautiful. I love the color choice. Moving on to the back, we've got it spinning through some twisty mountain roads. Looks like maybe Vermont or something even. And you've got the real car looking very striking. I would use that word. I think this is the first time Lego has licensed with Lotus, although they did have the Lego Ideas Caterham, which I think is based off the Lotus Super 7, but don't quote me on that. So they may have worked with them before. But this is the first fully Lotus, which is awesome. Lotus is such a cool car company. So let's crack into this one. Oh, excuse me. All right, we've got 2 bags, a chassis, some wheel covers, a manual, and sticker sheet. Pretty average sticker sheet for Speed Champions, I would say. And this is the last of the era of the interesting prints on the instruction booklets. Sadly, after this, they carried it over to the boring plain white style. Rest in peace, my friend. Anyway, let's build this unit. So here's a close-up of the finished model. Driver fits in there nicely, even with their street hair. And steering wheel is centered. Look at that. You love to see it. Interior is done with a Nexo shield. Kind of interesting. And here's something I found really cool. These plates on the side, they're only connected here. But they just butt right up against this stud sticking out of this snot brick, and it works perfectly. It holds them in there actually really nice, pretty impressive. We also got some Technic going in there, weirdly. A couple of good shots of this thing. Check out the plan view with this yellow line going all the way down, around both sides. Looks amazing. This printed rear glass is awesome with the Lotus logo. Beautiful. Another good view is the side. Look at the shaping they got on the doors. Oh my goodness. That is stunning. Around the other side as well. Beautiful stuff. The front worth noting is this piece down here, this bumper. It's attached with 2 toe balls, and look how flush it sits. Perfect. A lot of the details are done with stickers, but we got prints for the headlights, prints for the windshield, and a print for that, as I mentioned. Rear spoiler done with the upside down snowboard, which is cool. And honestly, just the green and yellow looks amazing. The stickers on the green matches up quite nicely, actually. I also really liked, this is where the Technic connected with some pins, and just so you can get that angle, and it just meets up so nicely with that. This piece is weird. I've never seen it before. Then we move to the back, and the back's got some stuff going on. Kind of falls apart for me, and we'll talk about that a little bit later. But they tried to highlight the very interesting shape of the rear lights on the Evija. If you know the car at all, I'll flash a picture up of the real thing, but it's quite the looker. All right, so final thoughts on the Lotus Evija. Kind of a mixed bag, weirdly, for me. Usually I either love it or hate it. But this one's got me kind of conflicted. I think the designers did a fabulous job with it overall. They got some really cool details in there. I mean, they got the driver properly centered in front of the steering wheel. The side looks amazing. The front looks great to me. The top, the plan view, I think that's a money shot too. A couple of problems is the shoulder line with the printing not going on the bottom where it should be green, it's clear. But that's just a product of the time. They've got that sorted out now. It's just kind of unfortunate that that's the case. And then the rear lights. Just doesn't really work for me when compared to the actual car. You can see on the real life photo on the box of the model, they didn't choose the rear shot, and I think that was certainly on purpose. The problem with the rear lights, I think for me, isn't even the Lego model itself. I think it's just the actual car. The Evija's rear lights are really, really distinctive, and I don't think they would translate well into Lego at any scale, and certainly not at this small of a scale. And it really hasn't done. But again, I don't think that was any fault of the designers. I don't think they could have done anything. I think they're kind of set up to fail in that respect, unfortunately. And then the other thing, I guess, if you could count this as a detriment, is just the subject matter is a bit obscure in my mind. It's not a super popular car, the Evija. I think it's pretty cool personally, but it's certainly not as popular as like the McLaren F1 or the Lamborghini Countach or even the Koenigsegg Jesko, I wouldn't say. So I'm a bit conflicted in that I think the designers did a great job with what they had. I just think it was a weird choice from the outset. But for me personally, I think I'm happy that it exists. It's kind of weird, and I kind of like it when we get something weird, like the McLaren Solus GT. I thought, this is weird. Not a lot of people know what it is, but I do, and I really like it. And also the color scheme. I mean, come on. British Racing green with the yellow Lotus striping. You cannot beat that in my mind. That is just beautiful. And I think this has a lot going for it. From a lot of angles, it looks really good. So if you don't like the back, as I don't, just display it like that. You never have to think about the back ever again. Job's a good one. But what I'd really like to hear is your thoughts about this one. So pop them down in the comments below. What do you think about this car? Or even just this set? Do you like it? Do you think it's a bit weird? Is the back working for you? Not so much. Let me know. I'd love to hear it. But for now, I will thank you so much for watching, and I hope you have a fantastic day, and I will see you again very soon. Goodbye.